We've all heard of Dungeons & Dragons, right? You know, it's that roleplay fantasy tabletop game that you play with friends and relies on imagination. It's actually a really old game that's been around for decades. Well, it also featured in Stranger Things. Demogorgon? Yeah, not an original name. Vecna? Mind Flayer? Definitely not. My description really oversimplified it, sorry D&D fans, but it gave you a general concept if you didn't know what it was, and that's really all you need going forward. One of the biggest issues with D&D that I've personally faced is that you have to have friends to play it, and then there's scheduling issues on top of that. It isn't very accessible for people who play solo. But what if I told you that there has been a single player D&D experience under your nose this whole time? Hey, my name's Lily, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but trust me, I have a lot of exciting stuff planned for the near future. Today, I present to you a new episode of Map Mania, the Minecraft series where I cover marketplace maps worth your time. Today is a big one, the official Dungeons & Dragons experience from Minecraft Bedrock. So, without further ado, let's jump into the story, because yes, this is a full campaign. Before the adventure properly begins, we are in a Dungeon Master's game room. When I played this pack for the first time, this room is what made me realize this was going to be a very high quality map. There's all sorts of custom props around the room, including real life Dungeons & Dragons books, with the actual real life colors, albeit a little pixelated. But that's not all. This game has full voice acting. This is a technical feat that I really did not expect. Not a whole lot of maps have full voice acting. Anyway, I got distracted, sorry, but the DM asks us to select our first character, and we can choose to be a...
Paladin might be the way to go. Or maybe a wizard. But a rogue could be fun too. But it's also lots of fun to just be a barbarian with...
I chose Paladin, so all the gameplay will be from that class. I highly recommend that if you get this experience, experiment with other classes so you get more diversity than what you have watched in this video. But that's not all. Now we need to put our stat points in. This is rather simple, but pretty much we get skill points when we level up that we can put into different categories. My favorite is Charisma. Charisma lets you have the higher chance for a critical hit to happen, and the more points you put into it, the higher the chance.
And like that, you've made your first character. Congrats! Now, how about we dive right into things? Let me just set the scene for you. It all starts with something as mundane as fetching groceries for your parents.
Finally, we get to the story. We spawn on a quiet town and we talk to a person to get some groceries. We then can go to our house and go straight in, or we can wait outside to hear a secret conversation. Upon entering the house, we are told that people are going missing. Your father asks us to speak with someone named Andravair to ask for his help. On the way to his cave, we can fight some goblins. This is a pretty good time to get used to controls and beginner spells when you're fighting these lower level creatures. Upon entering the cave, we can hear a lot of ruckus going on deeper in, until we eventually find a dragon with a bunch of cultists surrounding him. We do some voodoo witchcraft stuff to the massive dragon, and then this happens.
What was that?
As you reach for the coin that seemed to suck the life from Andravair, you note a crack running down its face. Whatever these people want with it, you doubt they should have it. The moment you touch the metallic surface, though, a jolt of energy sears through your fingers and up your arm, followed by a sense of pressure, as if the ocean's tide were rushing into your flesh. Recoiling, the coin is adhered to your fingertips, bound there even as you feel that the force pouring from it stretches your skin and crushes your bones, threatening to rupture and burst your entire body. Other than your body, though, it is the coin that bursts, erupting into shards of metal as the same light that flowed into it earlier streams into you. The physical pain abates, though something continues to press on your mind, clawing its way into your thoughts and filling your skull as the world around you distorts and turns insensible, chaotic, and then, finally, dark.
What happened? Where is...
Who are you? What have you done to me?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that was a little brutal for Minecraft, I won't lie, but pretty much the coin had the dragon's soul on it, and when we touched it, like a part of his soul goes into us or something. Now, honestly, that's where I'm going to stop covering the story, because I really don't want to spoil a lot of the twists and turns that this story takes, just in case you plan on buying it for yourself. So from now on, we'll be strictly talking about gameplay. So I can really only speak for the Paladin class here, as that's the only one I've played so far, but the spells that you can unlock with Paladin were all pretty cool. My one complaint with the spells is that they were inventory items, so at a certain point you need to go into your inventory and move stuff around to make space, which means you're sacrificing like room for like potions and stuff like that. The actual swordplay was okay. I feel like maybe if it used like a sort of variation of like the Java edition combat, it would have been 100 times better. I just feel like the Bedrock combat doesn't really lend itself well to a big adventure like this when it's just you sitting there spamming at the enemy. You know what I mean? The variety of enemies was really good. It has like the most notable D&D creatures featured, like stuff like owlbears, mind flayers, mimics, gelatinous cubes, and more. The map also has a lot of really good exploration bits. Like in between story quests, you're given the opportunity to explore the map around you. You can get like exclusive potions and find like landmarks that give you XP upon finding them. The landmarks are all really cool. Like for example, in one of the maps, you can find a crashed mind flare ship and have to fight some really powerful mind flares. Unfortunately, the mind flares really don't have a role in the story. They're just kind of like a quick cameo for that one landmark. The story itself was great. It took me about 5 hours to beat. And by the way, that's unheard of in the scene of Minecraft maps. This is by far the longest marketplace piece of content I've ever seen. So if you care about value, this is like the best in the entire store without a doubt. But one of the weird choices that caught my eye in this map was the fact that there is a single side quest. I mean, there's one. Everything else is a main story quest or just like an environmental set piece. In the side quest, the only one that exists is at the very, very, very end of the game. Like, I mean, like 5 minutes before you beat it. You get like a chance to go back and do the side quest before you beat the game. And then the game's over. Without getting into spoilers, I love all the locations you visit in the story. They all feel so unique from each other. And the scale of the locations are absolutely huge too. Like, they're all like individual maps. There was one location that I was just kind of exploring for a really long time, and then when I got tired of it and I started heading to the objective, I found more stuff on the way back. I was overall very impressed with this DLC pack. Whether it be the full voice acting, the set pieces, or the enemies, all of it was very well executed. There was a handful of things I didn't like, however, but really all the negatives get overshadowed by how groundbreaking this is. I mean, it took me 5 hours. I'm gonna have to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. It's definitely worth your time, whether you're a D&D fan or not.